Listen to me for a minute. Not because I want you to rehearse a mean comeback or to spend another sleepless night planning the perfect payback, but because there is a kind of revenge that is quieter, sharper, and infinitely more satisfying than any bitter words or desperate attempts to make someone else feel small. That revenge is simple. Become someone they cannot touch anymore. Become the version of yourself that outlives the moment they tried to define you. Let me tell you why that is the best kind of revenge, and how you can build it step by step until it becomes the air you breathe. People will hurt you, sometimes by accident, sometimes by malice, sometimes because they are lost and take their confusion out on you. Whatever the reason, hurt is real. It stings, it eats at your attention, and makes you smaller in ways you don't even notice at first. The immediate reaction that most of us know intimately is the urge to retaliate a sharp message, a public exposure, a rumor returned in kind. It feels like control, it feels like justice. But that kind of fight is shallow and noisy, and it keeps your attention tethered to them. Every insult you throw back is a rope that keeps you tied to the person who injured you. You remain engaged with their story because you keep writing the sequel. Now, imagine something else. Instead of writing their sequel, you write your next chapter. Instead of spending your energy shrinking them, you spend it expanding yourself. Instead of feeding the grievance, you starve it. The best revenge is not about making them suffer. It's about becoming untouchable emotionally, financially, morally, spiritually. That doesn't mean you become cold or revenge-free of emotion. It means you convert pain into power. You turn a wound into a compass that points toward a better life. How do you start? First, own your pain without letting it own you. That's a distinction most people miss. Own the feeling, name it, feel it. Let the anger, the embarrassment, or the sorrow run through you like a river. But do not build a house next to that river. Feel it fully, then let it pass. When you name it aloud, I felt betrayed, I was humiliated, I saw the truth too late. You take the charge out of it. Once the charge is gone, you can decide what to do next. Most people suppress or weaponize their feelings. Both are traps. The brave thing is to feel and then to move intentionally. Second, stop collecting evidence that you are a victim. I'm not asking you to pretend nothing happened. I'm asking you to stop rehearsing hurt like a script. We replay what wounds us because rehearsal convinces us we are still alive in that moment. But every replay steals time and clarity from the future. When you stop why they hurt you replaying, you reclaim the director's chair of your life. You choose the next scenes. Victimhood is like quicksand. The more you struggle where you're stuck, the deeper you sink. The best revenge is to step onto solid ground and walk away with your head high. Next, invest in yourself. This is where the revenge becomes practical and beautiful. When someone tries to limit you, the most direct counter is growth. Learn the skill you've been avoiding. Start the business you've been postponing. Read the books that stretch your mind. Take care of your body like it's the only home you'll ever have, because it is. When you commit to growth, you become unpredictable. People who tried to put you in a box can no longer find the box. You move, you evolve, they remain in the moment they chose to define you by, and you become a moving target impossible to hit. Another way to claim that kind of revenge is through boundaries. Boundaries are not mean, they are clarity. When someone hurt you, it's okay to guard your energy. Say no to invitations that will expose you to the same danger. Say no to conversations that drag you back into the mud. You don't owe explanations to people who chose harm. You owe yourself protection. Setting boundaries creates distance, and distance allows you to heal and to plot your rise without interference. But revenge through self-improvement alone can become hollow if it's only outward. There is a deeper layer. Become someone whose internal landscape is rich enough that other people's opinions do not matter. This is about building dignity. Dignity is earned at small battlegrounds. Keeping your word to yourself, choosing courage over comfort, refusing gossip, showing respect even when respect was not given. When your dignity is intact, the world's commentary becomes white noise. People will gossip, they will speculate, and they will try to pull you back. But if your dignity is unshakable, their words will bounce off like rain on glass. Forgiveness is another strange, radical tool in this strategy. I don't mean forgive and forget as a command to erase what happened. I mean forgive for yourself, not for them. Forgiveness is an act of liberation. It is telling yourself, I will not let this person live rent-free inside my head. Years of bitterness are heavy. Forgiveness is the nail that frees your suitcase from the coffin. When you forgive, the wound doesn't vanish, but its power to dictate your choices does. And once you've forgiven, you can channel that energy into something constructive. Let's get practical. Create a plan. Set a 3-month, 6-month, and 12-month goal for yourself that has nothing to do with the person who hurt you. These goals should be specific and measurable. Maybe you want to run a half marathon, launch a side hustle, or save a certain amount of money. Write them down. Then build a tiny daily habit that supports each goal. Small habits compound. The person who hurt you will still be living inside yesterday. You will be building tomorrow every single day. Surround yourself intentionally. People who hurt you often come with a social ripple. Mutual friends, associates, reminders. Clean up your environment. This might mean unfollowing people on social media, limiting time with mutual acquaintances, or creating literal physical distance. But don't do it out of spite. Do it because your growth deserves an environment that encourages and protects it. Invite people into your life who are capable of celebrating your wins without digging up your wounds. A friend who can hold both your vulnerability and your ambition is worth more than 100 who prefer gossip to growth. Financial independence is a particularly sharp kind of revenge. If your life was ever made precarious by someone else, a partner, a boss, a parent who controlled resources, build your own safety net. Learn how to manage money, invest in yourself financially, and build multiple streams of income. Money is not the only measure of power, but it is a tool that buys you options. Options keep you free. Freedom is itself a form of revenge because it removes your reliance on the person who once controlled you. Reclaim your story. People who hurt you often atomize your identity into a wound. He did this. She left. They humiliated me. That becomes the headline of your life if you let it. Instead, reorder your narrative. Start telling the story where the wound is the turning point, not the ending. This happened to me, and because of it, I learned 10th, I created Y. I now stand for Z. When you tell a story of transformation rather than victimhood, you change the emotional gravity of that memory. It becomes a root for strength, not a chain that keeps you down. Here's transforming pain into strength, something that will surprise you. Success that's born from vengeance rarely feels sweet. It tastes hollow if it is fueled solely by "I'll show them." True satisfaction comes when your motivation is layered. Part resilience, part curiosity, part love for what you can be. If your only reason to succeed is spite, your success will feel like a counterfeit. So mix your revenge with something else. Build a life you love for your own reasons. Use the hurt as fuel, but let your bigger vision be the destination. Also, practice gratitude. It's not a clutch. Gratitude requires your attention. When you train your mind to notice what's working, you starve the grievance of oxygen. This isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about balancing the ledger so your mental account isn't overdrafted on bitterness. Every day, write down 3 things that are going right. They can be tiny: a cup of coffee, a kind message, a moment of quiet. Over time, those moments stack into proof that life continues to offer you good things regardless of other people's choices. Another powerful move: serve someone. When you take your energy and you apply it to making someone else's life better, you remove the magnetic pull of revenge. Helping others is not a moral posturing. It's practical psychology. It broadens your perspective and multiplies your meaning. The person who hurt you becomes a small footnote in a life that has vast margins and generous horizons. And yes, there will be days when you fall back into old habits. Replaying the conversation, drafting the perfect reply you never send, staring at their social media. That's normal. Growth is not linear. When you stumble, treat it like a test of your growth, not proof that you failed. Use the stumble to learn what triggered you, what boundary was weak, what unmet need did it expose, then rebuild wiser. Avoid public humiliation as a weapon. It's tempting to call out someone publicly because it feels like swift justice. But public humiliation is an emotional grenade. It hurts the target, and often it explodes back on you. The court of public opinion is fickle. In trying to humiliate someone else, you risk losing your own integrity. Keep your ethics intact. Be strategic, not vengeful. If something must be addressed, Do it privately or through the right channels. Let your dignity be louder than your anger. Finally, understand that the best revenge is also the most humane. It doesn't seek to break someone. It seeks to break the power that person holds over you. That's a subtle but crucial difference. You don't have to forgive to be kind, and you don't have to reconcile to move on. You can be polite and preserve your space. You can wish someone well from a distance and still never let them back into the inner sanctum of your trust. Peace is not engagement. Peace is your sovereign property. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like waking up and choosing habits that serve your future self. It looks like investing in skills, writing your own story, cultivating people who see you, protecting your energy with borders, and building a financial and emotional safety net. It looks like turning a wound into a lesson and a lesson into momentum. It looks winning without revenge, like you months later encountering gossip about the very people who tried to limit you and smiling because gossip is the sound of someone still stuck in yesterday. You are at the breakfast table of a life they cannot touch. Revenge redefined is not an act against another person. It is an act for yourself. It is the quiet cultivation of excellence. It is the slow, deliberate dismantling of dependence. It is waking up each day and choosing a path that makes their memory irrelevant. It is becoming such a radiant, capable, centered person that their small cruelty becomes a strange, distant thing, like a rumor you once heard in another life. And so let your best revenge be a life. Take the hurt and make it a scaffold. Use it to climb. When you reach the top, don't shout down. Stand there, breathe, and look around. You will see how far you've come and how small the wound looks from this height. That view, the clarity, the peace, the freedom, that is the sweetest revenge of all. In the end, hurting people are always teaching you something about your limits, your blind spots, and your values. Choose to be the student who learns fast. Choose to be the architect who designs a life that makes their smallness irrelevant. Choose daily to be uncatchable. Your revenge will not be a scream, but a steady, unassailable rise. That is how you win. The echo of memories is not just the soft replay of what once was. It is the haunting sound of everything we thought we had let go of. It is the whisper of the past in the quietest moments of our present, the places we revisit without meaning to, the feelings that resurface without permission, the people who exist not in flesh but in fragments of remembrance. Every person carries an archive within them, a museum of memories curated by love, pain, disappointment, joy, and regret. Some memories come like sunlight through stained glass, warm and colorful, filling us with nostalgia and peace. Others come like storms, uninvited, unrelenting, and heavy, reminding us of the moments that changed the course of who we became. The echo of memories is the space between what was and what still lingers. It is the invisible thread that ties us to experiences long gone yet not forgotten. There's something both beautiful and cruel about memory. It has the power to keep us alive, but it also has the power to keep us trapped. You can run from a place, from a person, from an entire chapter of your life. But memories, they find their way back. They hide in music and scents, in the faint flicker of a familiar expression on a stranger's face. You can be living your best life, and then suddenly a single thought can pull you back years in an instant. It's almost unfair how the mind can betray the heart that works so hard to heal. But that's what the echo of memories does. It tests the strength of your growth, your healing, and your peace. You see, memories are not static. They evolve as you do. What once hurt you deeply might with time become a soft reminder of strength. What once made you smile might now bring a tear. And yet, the power of the echo lies in the way it shapes your relationship with your past. We often think of memories as something that happens to us as though we are passive receivers. But in truth, we participate in them. We give them meaning, weight, and color. The same memory that breaks one person might build another. It's not the memory that defines you, it's how you respond to it. Every echo can either call you backward or push you forward, depending on what you choose to hear in its sound. Sometimes the echo comes as a test of forgiveness. You think you've forgiven someone. You think you've moved on. And then a memory surfaces, a conversation, a betrayal, a goodbye that wasn't fair. And suddenly your chest tightens. That's the echo asking, have you truly let go? Or did you just stop talking about it? Because letting go is not about forgetting. It's about remembering differently. It's about being able to revisit the past without reopening the wound. The echo is not your enemy. It's your emotional mirror. It shows you where healing still needs work, where peace hasn't yet settled in. There are also memories we try to silence because they remind us of our mistakes. We replay the things we should have said, the things we should have done differently, the roads we should have taken. But here's the truth. Every version of you from the past was doing their best with the understanding they had. You can't punish the old version of yourself for not knowing what the current version does. The echo of those memories shouldn't be a punishment. It should be a lesson, a quiet nudge that says you've grown, you survived the moment you thought you wouldn't. You are now wiser, calmer, and stronger. Not despite your past, but because of it. Sometimes the echo of memories is the voice of love that didn't last but changed you forever. You may not speak to that person anymore. You may not even want to, but a part of you still holds gratitude for what they brought into your life. Love that ended doesn't always mean love that failed. Some people come not to stay, but to awaken something inside you. Confidence, purpose, clarity, maybe even pain that had to be felt so you could finally heal. When their memory echoes, it's not to pull you back into longing, but to remind you that you are capable of feeling deeply. The echo of love is proof that you were alive, that you dared to open your heart, even when it cost you peace for a while. But then there are echoes that are heavier. Memories tied to betrayal, to loss, to trauma. Those echoes are not gentle. They're sharp. They arrive when you least expect them, sometimes triggered by nothing at all. And in those moments, it feels like time collapses, like you're right back in that pain again. But here's the paradox. Pain, when revisited consciously, begins to lose its power. Every time you face an echo without running, you reduce its control. Healing is not about erasing echoes. Living unbothered is the best revenge. It's about learning to coexist with them peacefully. You don't silence them by force. You quiet them by understanding. There's also the echo of memories connected to the people who left, not by choice, but by fate. Death leaves echoes that no amount of reasoning can mute. You can't call them, can't fix things, can't say the words you wish you had. And yet they visit you in memories, in laughter that echoes in your mind, in the smell of their favorite meal, in the songs they used to hum. At first, those echoes hurt like open wounds, but over time, they become sacred. You begin to realize that memories are how love chooses to stay when presence is no longer possible. The echo becomes a bridge between worlds, between the living and the remembered. Sometimes we drown in echoes because we don't create new sounds. Life keeps moving forward, but we keep replaying the same moments. That's why creating new experiences is so important. Every new memory dilutes the power of an old one. Every act of joy, discovery, or connection adds a fresh layer to your story. The echo of memory should never be the loudest sound in your life. Let your present be louder. Let new laughter, new places, new dreams echo louder than the ghosts of what's gone. And maybe that's the essence of it. The echo of memories is not something to escape from, but something to understand. It's the rhythm of life reminding you that everything you've lived, every heartbreak, every joy, every failure, has contributed to who you are now. You are a collection of echoes that have turned into wisdom, scars that have turned into lessons, and endings that have turned into beginnings. The echo of memories will never stop completely. But if you listen closely, you'll hear that it's not just pain repeating, it's growth whispering. It's life saying you made it through. It's your past calling out not to haunt you, but to honor you. Because every echo, no matter how faint or painful, means you lived through something worth remembering. It means you cared, you loved, you tried. And maybe the greatest peace comes not from silencing those echoes, but from learning to dance with them gently, gracefully, knowing that they're a part of your song, but not the whole melody. The echo of memories is proof of your depth, your endurance, and your humanity. And in that echo lies both your past and the quiet strength that will carry you into every tomorrow.